just to give you a story, I had an old guy tell me a long time ago that the reason that most marriages aren't successful is because men go into them thinking that their woman is never going to change, and she always does. And women go into a relationship thinking that their man is gonna change one day, and he never will. What's up, everybody? It's Corbin. I'm back again. First episode of Red Says is gonna be really simple. I want to lay out what it is that you can expect from me every single time that you tune in. I want for you to hear what Red says about the things that are going on in my homeboy's life or in my life. Again, with that male spin on it that seems to be such a mystery to so many people. Second of all, I want to address your comments, and I want to, give you some feedback and answer any questions that you have about situations that are going on in your life, the things that you deal with. I want to address those as much as I can as well. But third, and probably most importantly, I want for every single time that you tune in to leave you with a little bit of something that's motivational and makes you want to do a better job in your relationships, and that will give you another tool. Every time that you tune in, I want for you to leave with another tool to do better in your relationships and managing the things that you've got going on in your life, so that you can, smile even more. One of my keys to success in life is to chase your smile. You can't expect for anybody to give it to you. You got to chase it like it's the most important game of tag in the entire world, like you were a little bitty kid in the most important game of tag that you ever played, and that kid tagged you, and now you've got to catch somebody else because you don't want to be it anymore. You have to chase your smile exactly like that. Recently, I've been having a lot of discussions about marriage and about deep relationships and about why dudes cheat and why dudes are scared of commitment, and so there's some kind of misconceptions out there. But anyways, over this last weekend, I got a chance to hook up with one of my homeboys that I've been, just thick as thieves with since we were in like the 9th or 10th grade, and we kind of lost contact for a little while, but we picked right back up this weekend, and we were just kind of sharing some stories and catching up on life and all the things that have been going on. And this is somebody that was, that I used to run the streets with, and we used to chase girls with, and we used to, see who could get the most numbers back when that was still cool. And then it was, we see who could get the most attention when we went to the club, or we would trade stories about this girl and that girl when we got to college, and do the things that dudes do that we claim we don't, talk back and forth and brag about girls. We used to do all that stuff together. But my man fell in love some years ago and decided that he wanted to get married, and now he's married, and they've been married for 3-4 years, and marriage has hit just a little bit of a rough patch. And I want to go over with you guys what it is that, in sitting back and talking to him, what I heard blaring from everything that he was saying about why their relationship was in a rough spot. And it's really pretty simple. The same thing that he did, and the same mistakes that they made in their marriage. Not that I know. I've never been married, so I don't want to pretend to be an expert. But from an outside, eye, the same things that I feel like would be really easy to adjust in his situation, the same things that I told him, are the very same things that we all do in all of our relationships. And that's, we don't do a good job of managing expectations. We expect one thing and we get another, so then we're salty. Or they expect one thing and we give them another, so now they're salty. Or we don't get what we thought we were going to get, so you can't have what it is that you thought you were going to get. And we play this game back and forth in our relationships, whether we do it intentionally or unintentionally, that keeps us from all being able to get where we want to, regardless of the capacity of that particular relationship. And there's 3 things that I identified that I feel like would make it a lot easier for people in relationships to be successful in those relationships. And the first of those is, you have to set your expectations reasonably. So as it relates to my man in his situation, his expectations in getting married were that he was going to be married to the same person that he married. Now listen to me for just a second, because that seems really simple, but the reality is it's not. He expected to be married and to spend the rest of his life with the exact same person that he was marrying in his mid-20s. Well, we all know that's not realistic, and despite how much we want to say, I'm going to always be me, and I'm not going anywhere, and this is who I am, we all change. We all evolve. So the expectation that she was always going to be the same person that she was when he met her wasn't necessarily realistic. So I told him, I said, well, you got to adjust your expectations and what is reasonable. You know, if you were, you know, getting it in and y'all was, you know, having that bedroom time 5-6 times a week, you know, before you get married, is it reasonable for you to expect that in your relationship? For some people it is. In his situation it's not, because, you know, they've got kids in the house and different things, and life has just kind of not allowed them to have that much intimate time together. So he needs to adjust his expectations to make sure that they're still reasonable. Second of all, you have to listen to what the other person's expectations are. I don't know a whole lot about the in-depth ins and outs of their relationship, but one of the other things I told him is, what does she want? Odds are that if she's not giving him what he wants, just like a lot of us do, if I'm not getting what I want, well, you can't have all of what you want either. If I'm not completely happy, I'm not going to bend over backwards to make somebody else completely happy. And that happens in no matter what relationship we're talking about. No matter what relationship it is. It doesn't matter if it's me talking to my secretary at the office. If I ignore Secretary's Day, oh, you can rest assured, I'm not getting all my messages that week. Because I violated her expectations. If I'm not willing to be respectful of her and her expectations, then I can't realistically think that she's going to be respectful of all of mine either. Should be able to, because the status of the relationship says so. So as the office manager, administrative assistant, whatever you want to call it, I should be able to count on her to do her job description. But we all know that's not the case. When you're not happy and you're not getting what it is that you feel like you deserve, you're not going to give another person exactly what it is that they want all the time. It just doesn't work like that. And the third thing that I told him was that you need to adjust and consistently review your expectations. You know, sit her down, have a conversation. Baby, you know, when we got married, I expected X, Y, and Z. Well, now all I'm getting is C, D, E, and F. What do I have to do to get back to getting X, Y, and Z again? And find out what the other person has to say. You know, if it's work, you know, hey, I haven't been getting my messages in a timely fashion, and I know you've got a lot going on, but what do I have to do to make sure that everything that I need from you, that you have it? Have I given you too much? Have I put too much on your plate? What else is going on that's prohibiting you from being able to do what it is that I need from you? What can I do to make your job better? And listen to what it is that she says. And if she says that I've given her too much work to do, or that, you know, she had a migraine that day, or that, you know, something came up, I have to be respectful of that. But most importantly, we have to adjust and review our expectations as time goes on with that person to find out why the expectations aren't being met. So, you know, just to give you a story, I had an old guy tell me a long time ago that the reason that most marriages aren't successful is because men go into them thinking that their woman is never going to change, and she always does. And women go into a relationship thinking that their man is gonna change one day, and he never will. Again, we've got to adjust our expectations accordingly. We have to know what it is that we want out of people, and we have to share what we want from them. And we also have to listen to what they want from us, because if we don't give them what they need, they won't be able to give us what we need. And then we have to sit down and review those and adjust them accordingly when the time is appropriate. But we got to do that often. We can't let too much time pass. You cannot sit and get frustrated with somebody based on them not meeting your expectations without adjusting what those expectations are and reiterating what it is that you need and what you want from that person. It would be nice if we could, and yeah, a lot of people would tell you, well, I shouldn't have to tell you. That's bull crap. That's not the way it works. You do have to tell. You do have to adjust, and you do have to be reasonable.